Infinity Castle debuted its US release a few weeks ago, and oh my goodness. Fans have been riding the wave of excitement since Season 4's cliffhanger over a year ago, and the timing of this release seems perfect. Its success has been extraordinary so far, but is it earned? And did releasing the finale exclusively as films help push it to record-breaking heights? Let's check it out. This marks Demon Slayer's final major arc, and Ufotable is pulling out all the stops by turning it into a series of cinematic films instead of a traditional TV run. Infinity Castle is the first of 3, and already raises the stakes for the entries that follow. After countless battles and heartbreak, Tanjiro and the Hashira have at last reached Muzan inside the Infinity Castle. The Demon Slayer Corps is unleashing everything they have against Muzan. Tonight is the night, their one shot at victory. Everything led to this moment, but killing Muzan will prove far tougher than they could possibly imagine. Inside Infinity Castle, Tanjiro stands at the height of his development, stronger in body, mind, and spirit. Years of loss and relentless training have transformed him from the unsure boy of Season 1 into a focused warrior. His sun-breathing and swordsmanship are sharper than ever, but it's his determination and sheer grit that truly define him. We might not see Muzan in this movie, but what we do get is the long-awaited clash between Tanjiro and Akaza. Akaza. Everyone's favorite villain. Tension is the glue that keeps an audience locked in and breathless. It powers emotion. After a 3-year build-up, the standoff between Tanjiro and Akaza finally erupts into a payoff worth the wait. If you keep up with Demon Slayer, who's your favorite character? And why is it Nezuko? Tomioka steps into the Infinity Castle as one of the Corps' most reliable and experienced Hashira. He and Tanjiro already share a long, complex history, and this film pushes that bond even further. Together, they form a formidable duo, blending water and fire techniques against Akaza, and they'll need every ounce of that energy and more to survive. More on Akaza in a bit. Just like Tanjiro, Zenitsu has also grown and is far removed from the terrified boy fans first met. His nervous and comedic exterior is still there, but it hides a razor-sharp focus honed by training and personal trauma. He's drawn into one of his most personal battles yet, forced to pit his lone thunder-breathing form against a rival who commands 6. Zenitsu's form may be a bit one-dimensional, but he still finds ways to surprise you. Oh, and one thing I like about Zenitsu, he plays a mean shamisen. Tomio is still holding strong, but she's in a serious bind. Last season, she drove her bloodthorns and her fist into Muzan to inject him with a drug meant to weaken him. It seemed to work at first, but Muzan's no fool and has a few surprises in store for her. Ufotable's camera work in Demon Slayer is a huge part of what makes it feel cinematic. Instead of static shots, the studio leans on sweeping, fluid camera movements that track characters through 3D rendered environments, letting the viewer glide around fights as if they're inside the action. Long takes, dynamic pans, and sudden perspective shifts create a sense of speed and scale you rarely see in TV anime. These camera motions simulate a live-action Steadicam, weaving through collapsing halls and twisting stairways, emphasizing the castle's impossible geometry. It's safe to say Ufotable set the gold standard for animation right now. The production cost put into these fight scenes was worth every penny. Now, before I get too carried away, there are parts of the movie that don't work for everyone. The biggest one, Akaza's backstory. Ever since Season 1, we've known each villain gets their turn in the flashback spotlight. It's just part of Demon Slayer. It's basically the anime equivalent of a Marvel post-credit scene. My friends warned me about the backstory, and I thought, how bad could it be? Well, it eats up a big chunk of the movie's runtime, and feels even longer. But in the end, you'll understand why they went that route. I'm also not entirely sold on this movie-only release model. It may work for most people, but I'm still on the fence about it. I love Demon Slayer, but waiting 2 years between films to see the final arc? I don't know. Is it worth it? Probably. Will I show up anyway? Definitely. With box office numbers like these, it's hard to argue otherwise. Demon Slayer is blazing new ground as the first anime to wrap up its story through a split movie series. A move that's both impressive and a little worrying. Cash grab or not, we have a 4-year wait until we see the end of this arc. Well, I guess I have a reason to go to the movie theater now. Even so, without the bigger movie budget, we wouldn't have seen fight scenes at this level. Shinobu's battle especially stands out. Absolutely breathtaking. Against overwhelming odds, she refuses to retreat. Every strike carries her resolve, every wound her defiance. Fighting a powerful foe with unshakable will and everything precious hanging in the balance. Shinobu is easily the standout of this film. A bigger budget also leads to better animation quality. Watching Tomioka battle Akaza against the backdrop of the Infinity Castle was a sight to see. The castle felt alive, a character in its own right, and I can only imagine the effort that went into bringing it to life. It honestly makes me reconsider the whole movie release approach. After years of anticipation, Infinity Castle lands as a finale that feels both grand and personal. Tanjiro enters the shifting fortress at the height of his abilities, while Zenitsu and Tomioka reveal how far they've evolved. Fear into precision, calm into ferocity. Shinobu has the best fight in the film. Looking ahead, the next 2 Demon Slayer movies are both exciting and a little nerve-wracking. On one hand, Ufotable has already shown what the cinematic format can do, promising more spectacular battles, deeper emotional punches, and the kind of event-style releases anime rarely gets. On the other hand, splitting the finale into movies brings drawbacks. Long waits between chapters, pacing that may feel uneven, and a risk of momentum fading for casual viewers. It's a bold experiment that could redefine how big shonen series end. Ambitious, yet potentially testing fans' patience. Either way, and whatever they bring, it's going to set my heart ablaze. What did you think of Infinity Castle? Let me know in the comments.